When we think about the birth of a major empire, we often fall back on a convenient myth. We imagine a solitary, legendary warrior rising from nowhere, forging a kingdom entirely on his own through sheer personal willpower. A 1630 map of India reveals why a lone hero narrative is impossible. The subcontinent was monopolized by entrenched powers like the northern Mughals and southern Deccan sultanates, leaving no political vacuum. Yet a direct challenge began at a precise point in the Sahyadri Mountains. Looking at the imposing stone fortification tower of Shivneri Fort today, you see a heavily defended military structure. But in 1630, it served as an incubator for a powerful political concept, cultivated carefully by a mother for her newborn son. This ancient manuscript page, featuring colorful illustrations of Hanuman and Rama, depicts the exact epics Jijabai narrated to her son throughout his childhood. By centering his education on these specific narratives of righteous war and duty, she provided the moral vocabulary he would later use to challenge the legitimacy of foreign rule. Long before the first fort was captured, the cultural normalization of living as a subject of the Sultanate was being systematically dismantled at home. Jijabai replaced the typical expectations of a servant with the mindset of a sovereign. While Jijabai constructed the ideological framework, executing that vision required serious military infrastructure. That came from his father, Shahaji Raje Bhosale. Shahaji was an incredibly formidable figure in the Deccan. He operated as a master sardar, a high-ranking military commander who constantly outmaneuvered rival factions and wielded a highly advanced understanding of political statecraft. These 5 historical swords, with their specialized blade kurums and distinct hilts, showcase the deep martial science active at the time. Shahaji systematically transferred this exact warrior lineage, alongside his vast tactical knowledge and military command structures, directly to his son. He provided access to experienced generals and established cavalry units. This specific paternal training served as the rigorous blueprint that the early Maratha forces relied upon to develop their devastating, highly mobile guerrilla warfare tactics. Shivaji did not pull a new system of warfare out of thin air. He inherited a sophisticated, generational family science and weaponized it to secure his borders. Taking ground from established empires required simultaneous, relentless offensives across multiple fronts. A single commander could never maintain that pace. This wide view of the rolling green ridges of the Sahyadri Range illustrates the severe, punishing geographic scale the Marathas had to traverse. Defending the core territories here demanded constant vigilance. The family paid a heavy toll to secure this expansion. Shivaji's elder brother, Sambhaji Shahaji Bhosale, led grueling martial campaigns in Karnataka, absorbing massive enemy pressure before ultimately falling in battle at Kanatgiri. At the same time, their half-brother, Ekoji Raje Bhosale, pushed the boundaries of their influence outward, driving a strategic wedge deep into the southern peninsula. The ornate pillars and vividly painted walls of this interior hall in Tanjavur stand as physical proof of his success. Ekoji established a wealthy, permanent stronghold here, planting Maratha culture and political authority far from their ancestral home. Tracing a line from the Deccan core all the way down to Tanjavur reveals the massive, multi-regional footprint the Bhosale family managed to secure. The Maratha state survived its fragile early years because the brothers decentralized the military burden. They fought, claimed territory, and absorbed fatal losses across entirely different geographies at the exact same time. Managing that level of constant kinetic warfare exacts a massive psychological toll on a ruler. Amidst the endless campaigns and political assassinations, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj relied on his closest confidant and first wife, Saibai. Her emotional intelligence and grounded perspective provided a stabilizing force that allowed Shivaji to navigate the high-stakes pressures of the court. Her presence was a strategic asset, offering the clarity needed to maintain command while the world outside burned. While the brothers projected intense outward violence to crack enemy lines, Saibai maintained the quiet internal fortification necessary for the king to think clearly and rule effectively. Constant external pressure shatters a command structure without an internal anchor. Saibai provided the psychological stability that guarded the architect's mind. The ultimate stress test for the Marathas arrived in 1680, following the death of Shivaji Maharaj. The Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb marched a colossal military encampment directly into the Deccan, intending to crush the resistance once and for all. Aurangzeb operated under a fatal assumption. He believed the Maratha state was entirely dependent on its founding patriarch and would instantly dissolve without him. He was met instead by the next generation. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj stepped into the vacuum, a complex leader, a highly educated scholar, and a remarkably ferocious warrior. Shivaji Maharaj effectively synthesized his grandfather Shahaji's tactical patience with his father's indomitable aggression. He engaged the Mughals relentlessly, successfully stalling Aurangzeb's massive war machine for years. When eventually captured, Shivaji faced a defining ultimatum. He chose to endure a brutal, agonizing martyrdom rather than submit a single inch of Maratha sovereignty to the emperor. The true durability of an empire is measured by what happens after the founder is gone. The Maratha state held firm because its heirs defended his ghost with absolute ferocity. Even after Shivaji's death, the resistance did not break. The women of the family, particularly Soyarabai, alongside leaders like Rajaram Maharaj, immediately stepped up to manage the state and keep the flag flying against the Mughals. This unbroken, multi-generational chain of command proved to the world that the Maratha power structure could absorb devastating losses and continue to function. The name Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj evolved into a durable framework for resistance. It became an ideological blueprint for liberty that survived the death of the man himself. The soil of Maharashtra and the weathered stones of its forts remain as living testaments to this collective family sacrifice. Swarajya operated as an inherited mindset that consistently chose defiance over chains, passed down through blood, and sustained in